Okay. Now, recollect the things what we have studied. Syntax in the user-defined function syntax. What are the terms we have? Go step by step. What are the main two parts? Function header and function body. What function header consists of? Yes. Return type, function name, and parameter list. What function body consists of? Yes. Local variable declaration, then statements of the function, and third is the return statement. Is there any relation between the return type and the return statement? What is that? The data type of the return value should be same as the return type specified in the function header. Okay, then what actually we mean by function prototype? Function prototype or function declaration, what it consists of? How many parts are there in the function prototype? 4 parts. First one is return type, second is function name, third parameter list, semicolon. It is almost the same how it looks like the function header, but additionally it has a semicolon. Okay, then the third part user defined function is function call. Okay, we will discuss little more on function call as well. Then whenever we include the user defined functions, then we can have some terms like calling function and called function. Who is calling function? In general, can we say who is calling function? The function which calls another function. Can we say a function which calls another function is called as calling function? Then how can we term the called function? The function which is being called by another function is termed as called function. Okay. Then parameter list, what actually it is? Parameter list. We have encountered this parameter list in 3 different segments or 3 different parts. First one is in the function prototype, second in the function call, third in the header of the function definition. Okay, let us pay attention to these 3 things and then understand parameter list, how those things are written. Okay, now what I will do now is that let us write a program, okay, using the function, the thing which we have studied just now, right? C program to calculate addition of 2 numbers using functions. Okay, first statement hash include stdio.h. Okay, then I need to write a int main here. So this is the function which I'm going to define it. And then I would be requiring one more function, that is user defined function, that will calculate the addition of 2 numbers. Okay, now what are the things we have to take care now? First, function prototype. Prototype or the declaration, where we should write between these 2 lines we are supposed to write. So now assume that, okay, as per the programmer's needs, I will assume that the function name is going to be addition. Okay, then it is going to take or it is going to accept 2 arguments. Don't write down anything, just pay attention. It is going to accept 2 parameters or 2 values of the integer data type. So I will just specify it to be int comma int. Okay, and then definitely a semicolon is required, and at the same time it is going to return a value of the data type integer, so the return type will be again int. So the function prototype is being written here. It is the function prototype, or we can call it to be function declaration. Function declaration. Just someone close the door, please. put the latch. Okay, now then we are going to define this particular function, right? So that has to be written in the after the main function. So here I will define in the sense I need to write those 6 parts. Okay, among those 6 parts, the first 3 parts can be clubbed as function header. So function header will look like what now? Return type. What will be the return type? Integer. Then name of the function. What will be the name of the function? Addition. Right? Then parameter list. Parameter list means now it is going to accept some parameters. How many? 2. Okay. What is the data type of first one? Integer. So int, and I need a variable to retrieve or to store that one, then I will specify it to be x here. Then since I have more parameters, I will separate them by a comma. Then second parameter data type is integer. So integer, and the name of the variable I will denote it as y. Should I give a semicolon here? No. In the definition, the function header will not carry a semicolon. So rather we need to write its body of the function. So here, how many parts or how many statements we need to write? 3. What is the first one? Local variable declaration. So here in this function, I need to calculate the addition. That addition I have to store in one particular variable. So I will require an local variable. So call it as int sum. Then the statements belonging to the function which actually performs certain tasks. So here it is going to be only one statement, that is sum is equals to x plus y. Okay, then the last part, that is return statement. If the function is returning something, then the return statement has to be written, right? So it is written using the keyword return. Then what it has to return? A particular value. That value is stored in which variable? Sum variable. Is that sum variable's data type, is it same as the return type written here? Yes, both are integer. Okay, now we have done 2 things here. First is the function prototype is written. Then we have written the definition of the function. Now we need to write the main function which is going to call the addition function. Okay, now let us write the variables which are required for main, like int a and b. Okay, and then printf, let us print a statement, enter 2 numbers. Okay, then scanf %d, and then ampersand a, ampersand. Then now here for demonstration purpose, I will write one statement here, like now the execution will, or now the flow of control will switch to the called function, just to print a statement, just a statement I'm printing. Okay, then after that I'm going to write something called as function call. Now again, in the function call, when we write, we need to take care of the same thing as part of the function prototype. Like the name should be same. Name should be same in the sense I should use addition. Okay, and then within the parenthesis, I need to pass the parameters. How many? 2, because we have defined or we have declared the function which will accept 2 parameters. So when I call this addition, I should pass 2 parameters. And what should be the data type? Integer. So now here, are there any 2 variables of the integer data type? Yes. What are those? A and B. So the parameters in the function call will be A, comma B. Okay. Now 2 parts are done. That is, name of the function is done and the parameter list is also given. And then the third pending is what? Return type, right? Since this function, when it gets called, it is going to return some value. that value has to be stored in one of the variable. That variable data type is going to be what? Integer, because it is returning an int value. Sum is of integer data type. So I will require some storage, which will say I will declare it to be an add. Then I will change the function call to be add equals to. Okay. Now, after this, I will write one more statement like printf addition equals to %d /n and then add. And the last statement will be return 0. Okay. Now here I will add one more statement. Let's say before this, printf the control is inside the addition function, just to display a statement for your understanding. /n also I will put. Okay. Now first, let us execute the program. Then I will explain how the flow of execution happens here. Okay, let's do compilation. No errors, no warnings. Enter two numbers. Then let me enter 10 and 20. Now, understand, this is very important. Understand the flow of execution, how it happens. As we know, when the program gets executed, it starts from main function. So line number 7, it starts, and then line number 8, it will proceed. At line number 11, there is a printf statement. So enter two numbers, is gets displayed here. Then you enter two numbers, those are going to be stored in the variable a and b. And after that, we have a 14th line number that prints. Now the control, now the flow of control will switch to the called function. Okay. After that, immediately what gets printed here? The control is inside the function. Now understand here, program execution has started from here. It prints, it goes like this. Then there comes this statement. Okay. Now if you just closely observe here, left hand side, there is a variable and then there is an assignment. Means there is an assignment operator. Right hand side value will be updated to what? Left hand side variable, like how we write sum is equals to a plus b in the same way. But on the right hand side, it is not an expression, but it is a function call statement. It is what? It is a function call statement. Function call statement means the flow, control flow, what the compiler will do at the execution time is that from here, the control will now move or switch to the addition function. Where this addition function is defined, it is defined somewhere here in the line number 24. Means once it encounters the line number 16, it identifies that there is an assignment. Assignment means right hand side will be executed first. In the right hand side, what it has? A function call. So function call means now the flow of control will switch from line number 16 RHS, that is right hand side, to the line number 24. The flow will now switch to the line number 24 where it is accessing the called function. In the called function, the name is addition, everything is fine, there are no errors. Then a and b, two values have been passed by the calling function. Right? A value is 10 and B value is 20. This A value will be stored in the variable X inside the called function, and the value of B, that is 20, will be stored inside another variable by the name Y here. So whatever those two values we have passed, 10 and 20 as A and B, are now available inside the called function as X and Y. Now X is having the value what A has, and Y is having a value what a B has. Okay, then it starts execution, like from 25 it will go to the 26, 27 up to 29. Now again 26 there is an variable declaration, then 27 the printf statement. What it prints? The control is inside the addition function. That's why you can see here after this now statement is getting printed, the control has now reached to the called function and it has displayed the control is inside the addition function. Okay, then after that line number 27 is done, it proceeds with the 28. In 28, it just calculates the sum of x plus y and then return sum. Return sum means now whatever this value it has calculated, that value will be now returned back to whom? To the function which it has been called by. Who has called this one? Main function has called. So the now when this return is executed, the flow of execution is now will switch from this statement to the where it has been called, that is here. It will come back to this particular part. Now that 10 plus 20, that have 30 has been calculated, that 30 will be now substituted at the RHS part now. In the now RHS part, we'll have now 30 and that 30 will get assigned to what? Add variable. Now add will be having 30 value and it will just now proceed with the next statement, that is 17 and 18. In the 18th, what it has? Addition is equals to %d add. Now add is storing what? 30 value. So that 30 will get printed here like addition is equals to 30. Now if you look back into the flow of execution, how it happened? It started from the calling function and it switches to the called function exactly when the function call statement is executed. Once the function call statement is executed, control will switch to the its called function, that is the actual definition of the function, and all these statements will get executed until it encounters the return statement. Once the return statement is executed, now it is saying it is return. Return means you now go back to the function which you have been called from. So it will again come back to the main function and whatever that value we have passed, that 30 will be stored in the add and then it will further continues over here. And the return statement of the main will be executed. Now, if you just want to put it in the pictorial diagram, let me see here. This is just an example. Here, I'm not using the int addition. It is just a general content is there. Now look at here, function prototype. Then we have a main function. Then we have a return one, that is function definition, right? So flow of execution you see here, the first one, line number, the one which are described here, all these statements will be executed. Then there is a function call. When the function call is executed, the flow of execution or the control will move to the function definition. So in the function definition, all the statements will be executed. And then after the last statement, it will come back to the where? The next line of the function call, and then the statements will be executed. You have a calling function. What this calling function is? Calling function is a function in which you find this function call statement and then called function. I will give you a couple of minutes, understand this particular diagram. Okay, if you have any doubts related to anything, what is the called function, what is calling function, what is function prototype, what is function call, what is function definition. If any doubts are there, please raise your voice, raise your hands, we will discuss it. Okay, is the screen visible properly? Okay, take up 1 or 2 minutes and look into it once again, flow of execution. If there are any doubts, please ask. Because the flow of execution is very, very important when we utilize the user-defined functions. Online students, you can unmute. If you have any questions, you can unmute and ask the questions. Yes. What if we don't use prototype? Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Now, what if we don't use this function prototype? In C programming, compiler will assume, pay attention. If we don't specify the function prototype statement, then the C compiler will assume that whenever it encounters a function call statement, it assumes that there is going to be a user defined function by the name which is been specified by the function call statement, the parameters which are specified by the list of parameters in the function call, and it assumes and it skips the function execution to the its actual definition part, and it calculates. But it gives a warning. It gives a warning stating to be that, okay, there is an implicit function. There is an implicit function. Implicit function means it is assuming that there will be a user defined function in your program. And with the assumption, it proceeds with the execution, and execution will be carried away. Let us see here in the program, which we have just written here. Okay, let's go to the program. Here, I will just show you compilation once again. Okay, compilation, there are no warnings, there are no errors. Now, I will just comment this. I will just comment this. Now, we'll save the program and then compile it once again. Now, there are no errors. There are no errors, but what we have an warning. What this warning says, read this one. Implicit declaration of the function addition. This particular warning is displayed for the line number 16. That is 16 is what? The function call. So when the function, this particular statement is getting executed, the compiler finds that, okay, I have not been informed that there is going to be an user defined function, but I can see that there is a user defined function here because of this particular function call. And I will assume that there will be a function definition which will holds good related to the name of the function and the number of parameters, and it will skip the execution to this particular part, and then these statements will be executed. It will not give you any errors, but it will give us an warning. And it is not mandatory to write the prototype in C. In C programming, it is not mandatory to write the prototype, but if assumption, whatever it has been made by the compiler, if it goes wrong in calculating the number of parameters, data type of the parameters, if it goes wrong, then at the execution time, it will give the runtime errors. Runtime errors are the type of the errors which will be caused or which will be thrown to the programmer at the time of execution. Just to avoid these things, explicitly we can tell to the compiler that I'm going to make use of the user defined function. How? By just writing the function declaration or function prototype, that I will tell to the compiler that I'm going to make use of the user defined function by the name this, by the list of parameters prescribed in this particular parenthesis, which will tell the number of parameters, the data type of the parameters, and the order of parameters. Three things. We will discuss again those things. First is number of parameters. Second is data type of each parameters and the order of each of the parameters and the return type. All these things I'm going to explicitly tell to the compiler that there will be a user defined function. Nothing to worry if you don't mention it. Compiler will assume it. Okay, if its assumption, if it goes wrong, then the program will give us an errors in the execution time. To avoid that one, we can, as a best practice, we can mention the function prototype. Is that clear? Okay, any other questions? Okay, now suppose if I want to write, now you may ask here, sir, we are writing a program to add two numbers, right? Why I need to write these many lines? I can simply write here like add equal to A plus B, okay? And then I can get rid of all these things and it will calculate. Why are we writing these many lines? Why are we making it complicated? Do you think so? Right? Okay. Now, the answer for this is Now, what I will do is that I will just comment some lines here. From here to these lines, I'm just commenting. Let the function definition be there. It is not going to harm anything. I will just write add equal to a plus b. Okay, now flow is what? It starts from the main function. I will enter two numbers, then add a plus b will be calculated. Then it is going to be printed here. Let us compile the program. No warnings. Execute. Enter two numbers. It calculated without the user-defined function. Right now, what is the use of writing the user-defined functions? Right now, the function which I have taken for example is very simple, like addition. Now tell me, if I want to write one more time addition, if I want to perform once again addition, what has to be done? I need to write one more add equal to a plus b. Isn't it? Now assume if the program is not simple as this, if the program is complex, wherein there are lot of statements. Take an example of addition of two matrices, right? To add the two matrices, right, there are quite a lot of statements. Or take an example of factorial of a number. To calculate the factorial of a number, we don't require only one, rather we require many statements. If we want to perform the same steps again and again, then I need to write as a programmer those many lines once again in the main function. Isn't that a repetition? Isn't that a duplication of the codes I'm writing here? Instead of that, how the user-defined function will do is that I no need to write those statements once again. Instead of that, I can write a user-defined function which will do that particular task like addition. Next time, I don't write this statement. Instead of that, what I can do? I can simply write addition and I can pass A and B. I can pass A and B. Always it need not to be the variables. I can just pass here 100 as well as 200. Now, what this 100 data type is? Integer. What this 200 data type is? Integer. So again, this 100 and 200 will be passed to the function. Again, the addition will be calculated. Okay. Now, to give a simple illustration, let me make small change in the program. I don't want to return anything from the function. Pay attention. These are going to be very important. I don't want to return anything back to the calling function. In such cases, I have to specify something called as an void to the return type. When we specify void as a return type, it indicates that the addition function is not returning anything to the calling function. Okay, the same way I will just proceed here. I will remove this one because I'm not going to take anything back. Then we will remove this statement also. We take out this line as well. This also I will remove, make it a little simpler. Now, the function call will something look like this, like addition A comma B. Because it is not returning anything, I don't require anything equals to before the name of the function. Okay, and then here, what should I change this into? Look at the function prototype. What is the return type? Void. Void means in the function header also it should be void. Why we are writing void? Because this function will not return anything. That means this return statement is also not required. It is not returning anything. But we want to print the output, right? We want to print this addition part, right? So I will remove this addition part from here and rather I will put it over here. Only thing is that the variable will be sum in this case. Now, just look at the statements, how I have modified here. Let me make it a short program so that you can see in a single line. Okay. Now here also, 1 second. Just trying to put it in only one screen. Okay. Void addition. Void addition means name of the function is addition. It will take two parameters and it will return or it will not return? It will not return. How we came to conclusion? Because we have a return type as a void. Void means the function is not going to return anything. And then statements are written in the main and in the function definition also. Return type is made as a void and there is no return value. Now let us compile the program. No errors. And if you execute also, the program will execute and it will just display the values, say 10 and 20. Okay, now the advantage of using the user-defined function, suppose if I want to add two more numbers, I no need to write all these statements once again. Rather, what I can do, I can call once again like addition, okay, say 100, 200. Now this is what? The function call. So when this function call is called, what is going to happen? Again, it is going to invoke the user-defined function. Now, if you run the program, you can see first 10 and 20 I am passing. The control is inside the addition function. Addition is 30. Next, again, the control is inside the addition function. The addition is 300. Why this is again? Why the control is again inside the function? Because we have called the function once again. I can write one more time like addition. Okay, I can pass 1000 and 2000. Now this addition function will be called for the third time. For the third time, what will be x value? 1000. And what will be y value? 2000. With 1000 and 3000, the function is going to be executed and you will see the corresponding values. Look at here. Now, did I do any duplication of work? All these lines, addition of these lines, did I do it once again? No. Rather than I made use of the user-defined function and I just called that particular function to print it or to execute those particular statements. That is the one of the most advantage of the user-defined function, that is code reuse. We call it as code reuse. The existing code can be reutilized, okay, in the program by writing functions. You can see here, this function is what? It is trying to do a part of a kind of a program or a sub-program or a module. Anytime if you want to execute or make utilization of these lines, simply do the function call to this particular function. So the function will be called, it will execute all the statements and again it will come back to the main function. Understanding? Yes? Any doubts? Okay. I don't want to take much of time because 2 classes I have explained now. So if I explain some more topics, there is a chance that you will forget all those things. Okay. Any questions? Any doubts?